The despair of a mother watching her children being unjustly executed is a powerful and painful image. The story of Rizpah is one of the most tragic and moving in the Bible. Today, we will discover why King David made this devastating decision and how Rizpah transformed all that pain into an act of resistance and unshakable love. This video will make you reflect on justice, perseverance, and the power of maternal love. If you have ever experienced loss or felt treated unjustly, this story will deeply touch you. We will see how faith and determination can change even the most difficult situations. How would you react in the face of such injustice? And what can we learn from Rizpah's courage to face our own struggles? Let's find out together. Before we begin, subscribe to our channel if you enjoy our content. We appreciate your support. During David's reign, Israel went through a period of unification and expansion. David, the second king of Israel, succeeded Saul and was instrumental in consolidating the Israelite tribes into a united kingdom. During Saul's reign, there was a violation of the pact between Israel and the Gibeonites, a group that had made a peace agreement with the Israelites in the time of Joshua. Saul, in a misguided act of zeal, tried to exterminate the Gibeonites. During David's reign, Israel faced a severe famine that lasted 3 years. David consulted God to understand the cause of the calamity and discovered it was due to the blood shed by Saul, who had violated a pact with the Gibeonites. To atone for the guilt and end the famine, David sought out the Gibeonites and asked what could be done to make amends. They demanded the execution of 7 descendants of Saul as compensation, and David agreed to their request. David faced an extremely difficult and painful decision. He knew the famine was a sign of God's wrath and that he needed to do something to appease it. However, the idea of handing over Saul's descendants, the former king of Israel, to be executed was a tremendous burden. David was aware that this action would not only cause pain to many families but could also destabilize his own reign. Considering the Gibeonites' demand, David deeply pondered the implications of his decision. He sought the counsel of his advisors and spent nights in prayer, seeking the best way to resolve the situation without causing further bloodshed. Finally, David realized there was no other way to atone for the innocent blood shed by Saul and bring peace back to the kingdom. David chose 7 descendants of Saul for execution. Among them were the sons of Rizpah, a concubine of Saul, named Armoni and Mephibosheth. The other chosen were 5 sons of Merab, Saul's eldest daughter, who were handed over to the Gibeonites. The 7 men were taken to the mountain where they were executed. They were killed by stoning and, in some accounts, also hung on poles as a sign of contempt and shame. After the execution, the bodies were left exposed to the sky, unburied, as a sign of dishonor. Rizpah, consumed by deep pain and a desire to honor her children's memory, made a desperate and courageous decision. She went to the place where the bodies had been hung and began her vigil. Rizpah spread a sackcloth on the rock, not just as a symbolic act of mourning, but also to protect the bodies from disrespect and predators. With determination, Rizpah stayed day and night beside the bodies. She endured harsh weather conditions, the scorching heat of the day and the biting cold of the night. Rizpah's constant presence was an act of resistance and a demonstration of her unwavering love for her children. She stayed vigilant against wild animals that might attempt to devour the bodies, keeping them away with her tireless watch. At night, Rizpah had to protect the bodies from predators like birds of prey and other animals seeking to feed on the remains. She used any means at her disposal to scare away the predators, ensuring the bodies remained intact and were not disrespected. Rizpah lit fires around the bodies, using light and heat to ward off nocturnal animals. During the day, she faced the scorching sun, without rest, always vigilant. Rizpah's vigil lasted several months. Her courage and suffering did not go unnoticed. The sight of a mother sitting beside her children's bodies, fighting against adversity to protect their dignity, eventually reached David's ears. Rizpah's act drew the attention of David and the nation, bringing public awareness to the gravity of the situation and the injustice that had been committed. David then took steps to rectify the wrong, giving the bodies a proper burial. This act signifies a form of restorative justice, seeking to repair the suffering caused and acknowledge the wrong. The execution of Rizpah's sons and her subsequent act of dignity and resistance are a powerful testimony of love, loss, and the complexity of justice decisions. Rizpah transformed her pain into meaningful action that led to a belated recognition and reparation. Her story is a profound example of how suffering and resilience can provoke change and touch the hearts of those in power. If you found Rizpah's story and the tragedy of Saul's sons impactful, you'll want to understand how moral issues and sins play a deep role in biblical stories. In our latest video, we explored the 3 most dangerous sexual sins in the Bible and how they affect the lives of the characters and their decisions. Click on the video appearing on the screen to discover these secrets.